What up, guys? Let's go ahead and get our drivers meeting out of the way. Welcome to the season finale of the NextGen series here at Kansas Speedway. Please run off the track after the drivers meeting is completed. Tonight will be a total of 130 laps. We'll have no stage break, one fast repair, 4 additional sets of tires. A few things to note: the only black flags that will be clear are passing the yellow due to wrecked cars and wrecking into the pits. We will not clear black flags for speeding through pits or unsafe entry or exit. During the restarts, keep back tightened up. Laying back to jump the start will result in a penalty. And when taking the green flag, you must maintain in your line until you cross that stripe. After the yellow flag's out, you safely made it through any wreckage. Please catch up with the pace car immediately to prevent delaying others. And when cycling through green flag stops, state over the radio what your intentions are to allow others to move around you. Good luck tonight, guys. Have fun.
Welcome, everybody, to the season finale here in the Next Gens for our season number 2. Capping off the season here today, I'm joined in the booth with Hunter Davis and also Jeff Denda. In the producer booth, there we go, stuttering over my words, we have Damon O'Brien. This is going to be a beautiful race here at Kansas. Hunter, how you doing?
Edwin, dude, I am so looking forward to tonight's race. We've had, so many drivers who have maneuvered their way through this season. We're down to the final 10, the last race. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. Jeff, what are your predictions for tonight?
It's hard to bet against the 5-car, but I think, we've got a pretty full field here tonight, so anything's possible. I think Matthew Tennett's in second. I know our producer will pull the points here for everybody shortly.
Before we get started, let's go ahead and get tonight's starting grid out of the way. There we go. Starting on your pole position, the current points leader, the 5-car of Brandon Hinton. To his outside, Ratfink's driver, 54, Tyler Waltz. Row number 2, you got the 13 car of Tanner Honeycutt. To his outside, 69, Todd Perrott, and 4th. Row number 3, we got another playoff driver starting in 5th, the 59 car of Matthew Tennant. To his outside, 3 cars, Sean Dion. Row number 4, you got the 63 of Craig Knoll in 7th, 32, Jonathan Geis starting in 8th. Row number 5, you got the 48 of Max Denda starting in 9th, Mark Holloway in the 56 car starting in 10th. Row number 6, you got the 4 car of Chuck Burley in position number 11. To his outside, 99, Christian Clark starting in 12th. Row number 7, 67 of Charles Connor in 13th. 7 car, Austin Knight, starting in 14th. I believe we had a few that elected not to qualify as well. We're going to talk about them real quick. You got the 60 car of Brian Sousa starting in 16th. The 23 of Thomas Long starting in 17th. And then you got Chris Wagner starting in 18th. And that will wrap out your field for tonight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a real interesting one here. I went out here and ran this track in the NextGen car. It's a little weird in turn 1 and 2. Jeff, I know you turned some laps out there too. How did the track feel for you?
It's actually decent for me. I mean, I only put a couple of laps down. These guys were certainly running a lot faster than I was in my couple practice laps. So, and it seems like they really blew it out of the water with qualifying.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Normally, one thing I want to talk about, normally you have the 5-car Brandon Hinton starts from the rear of the field every time. Right now, he is starting on the pole. He elected to qualify and is surrounded by playoff drivers.
Well, yeah, I could see why you'd want to qualify this time, Final race of the season, he's in the points lead. He wants to just check out, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. He's going to want to just check out on this field, control the race, and if he's out front controlling the pace, controlling how this race goes, he's got a lot less to worry about than if he's running P5 and, say, his closest competitor, Matthew Tennant, gets the lead and is running away. So I think it was a smart move for him to go out there and qualify.
Looking at our current point series, you got the 5-car of Brandon Hinton with a 9-point advantage over the 59 of Matthew Tennant. You got Chuck Burley sitting in 3rd, Tyler Waltz, Charles Connor, Mark Holloway, all at a very close-knit battle for the 3rd place position. As the pace car pulls off and the 5 leads us into the restart zone, we're going green.
5-car is going to be looking to control that gap right now, but he's side by side with Tyler Waltz right now. He's going to dive off into the corner. Now, Kansas is a multi-groove track, so he does have to be concerned about that 54 coming back around on the outside. He pulls up in front of him, but look at that gap closing right there. Where's the 54 going to go?
So it's interesting. You were talking about it earlier, and you said, the 5 car just wants to check out. And when you come to Kansas, these mile-and-a-half tracks like Kansas, Chicagoland, there's not necessarily really a checking out until tires start to come into play. These tracks are huge when it comes into how hard these guys want to burn their stuff. As you see, the 54 is going to sail it up there next to the wall, and he's going to actually clear the 5 car for the lead.
Yeah, he went up there and took that lead. And I have to agree with you. Yes, when the tires come into play, that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, that 54 is running up top. Do you think he's going to be burning his tires a bit more than the 5 car is?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. You're gonna the higher you run, right? You're gonna have to sail it harder into that corner to carry that momentum. So the 54 is definitely going to be using more tire running up low. But let's see how long it takes for that to come into effect. From what we're being told, we have about a 45 to a 50 lap run, 130 lap race. So let's see how long it takes those tires to come into effect, if they do.
Look at that group of cars back there, man. The 2 leaders are moving away, but look back at Tanner Honeycutt, Matthew Tennant, all of them back there. That is a crazy group right there.
Yeah, I can tell you that's definitely not where the 59 wants to be. He needs to get up there and clear Tanner Honeycutt to get right behind the 5 car Brandon Hinton. As I said earlier, there is a 9-point differential. That means there's going to have to be some significant positions between the two for him to be able to secure the playoff championship.
Well, you got to also, yeah, I agree with you on that, but Tanner Honeycutt is not an easy guy to pass. We've been out there, we've raced with that guy before. He's not an easy guy to pass. Yes, he's giving him the outside right now, but look at Tanner right here, as you see, sails it off into the corner, keeps himself next to that 59 and just keeping him kind of backed up. When you get 2 cars side by side, it's a lot harder to move forward.
Yeah, the 13's definitely going to not try to make it easy on him. He knows what's at stake here. He's going to try to contest him for the position. I think the 59 is going to have the momentum here on the exit 2, though.
I'm noticing a lot of guys on exits of corners creeping up into that wall. They're all just kind of casually grazing that wall every now and then. So I see a lot of people having an issue with exit a corner right now.
We had a good little battle back here with another playoff driver. The 56 of Mark Holloway is securing the 11th place position from the 23 of Thomas Long. Next up on the chopping block is teammate, the 3 car, Sean Dion.
You also got Todd Perrant back there. He's battling Craig Knoll. Craig Knoll with a very good showing early on in this race up to the P5 position. Todd Perrant's going to want to get past him and move forward. He wants to get back into that top 5.
13 car still putting some pressure there on the 59 as the 59 is going to run the middle line here, force the 13 to go all the way down to the bottom. Let's see what kind of momentum they carries there. Now side by side off the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, these guys are just fighting hard everywhere. I mean, look at the leader. He's still all the way up near that wall.
Yeah, one thing I really want to pay attention to is you brought it up earlier is the tire wear here. It's so interesting how difficult it can be to save tires because a lot of times you can pretty much sail it into the corner and you can run some really fast laps, but the more you do that, the slower you're going to be as the run goes on. So I'm kind of interested to see who our tire savers are going to be at towards the end of this race.
Especially with the fact that we don't have stage breaks. So they don't have that guaranteed time of being able to stop and get tires. It's not like they've got 25 laps right in the beginning where they can just drive it as hard as possible. They have to be thinking about that long run. And from what I'm seeing right now, the guys who are stuck in these side-by-side battles, who are having to change lane, go high and go low and go all over the place, their tires probably aren't going to be doing that good.
Good little battle developing. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just saying Matthew Tennant is pulled up in the P3, so he's has his eyes on Brandon Hinton there, keeping his eyes on him. As you guys mentioned, tire wear is certainly going to factor in, and I'm enjoying listening to the two of you back in the booth together again. Um, just throw down the technical insight, and I'm kind of going through the field here, just watching everybody else. Watching some of the other playoff drivers. If an incident happens, 48 car just got into 32. I was watching the 4 car there for a little bit. Just trying to see if I can find something that you guys may not see.
I'm back here looking at the 63 of Craig Knoll and the 69 of Todd Perrott, and a good battle here for the 5th place position. The 69 is going to try to run that high lane, get barely a fender as he pulls up right to the bumper of the 63 heading into turn number 1.
And, that's a good point, Jeff. I'm very happy that you're looking through the rest of the field because my eyes are suction cupped to this 59 versus 13 as the 59 gets into the wall and now the 13 goes on the inside. But about 2 laps ago, the 13 had a crazy run on the outside, and the 59 of Matthew Tennant just kind of ran him up there and held him really high in that line and forced him to back out. But now the 13 also gets in the wall. These guys are fighting hard. They're fighting so hard, they're just slamming the wall and keeping their foot in the pedal.
I've seen about 5 or 6 just in the past couple laps, quick brushes with the wall, just scrolling through the field watching these guys. So everyone seems to be getting a little piece of that wall.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing it more and more as the tires start to wear down. Guys are going to be picking up the throttle a little bit too early, and it's going to force them out of that lower groove and all the way to the outside, and that's where they're barely.
Oh, we got an incident. 23 was involved, but he was behind the play. Caught into, not exactly sure, but if we pull up the 23 replay,
56 of Mark Holloway.
Yeah.
Actually, looks like it might have been the car in front of the 56.
It was.
Let's see if we can get a good perspective of who's in front of the 56 of Mark Holloway.
I think that might be the 3 car of Sean Dion. Driver as well.
Almost looked like he was running the high line and maybe got a little loose. I'm not quite for sure what happened there, but that is the 3 car of Sean Dion.
To me, it kind of looks like he made a late change in the middle of the track for some reason, but he was way off pace. I don't know if he was maybe trying to dart down the pit road or something, but he just completely pulled down on his own teammate.
As we get our first yellow flag of tonight. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Jeff.
Nope, totally fine. I'm just apologizing. My trading paint seems to be a massive failure, so sometimes I can see the number, sometimes I can't.
We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants? You're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
And we're back here. We got some pit stops happening while we were under caution, but interesting development. The number 48 of Max Dinda, and then also Mark Holloway, which I think his might be a mistake. I think he's going around to try and get back down on pit road. But they are currently the only 2 cars to have stayed out right now. Yeah. 56 is going down pit road. Max Dinda will have 17 laps on his tires. Now, Hunter, you are the more technical guy here. Do you think the fact that he has 17 laps on his tires is going to affect him?
I mean, yes, will it affect him? Absolutely, but to what extent? It depends on how hard he was pushing in those beginning stages, or that beginning part of that stage. You know, if he's sailing it off into every corner, then yeah, it's going to play a huge factor. But if he was backing up every corner, giving up positions, I don't think we'll see as big of an effect, but fresher tires are 100% going to have the advantage here.
You know, and an interesting note to that, guys, 130 laps, 5 sets of tires, that's 26 laps per set of tires, right? So, yeah, he's he's kind of falling behind everybody else, but if he puts himself in a position to maybe run a bit, kind of, cycle through, he may be able to save an extra set or, have a set for the end of the race that's a little bit fresher than everybody else. It just, depends on cautions, of course.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, looking at the fuel window, right? Just strictly based off fuel window, by the time we go back green, he's gonna have 20 or so laps on his tires, which is gonna leave him, let's say, roughly 30 laps of fuel to where the rest of the guys can go 50. So I wonder if he's playing a strategy to set himself up for a later race pit stop than everybody else. But as the pace car pulls off, the 48 and the 63 are gonna lead this field to the green flag.
I think the 63 didn't get tires as well because he's the first car out and he was running back in about P5. So I think he didn't get tires and only took fuel, but Max is going to jump out to a massive lead. And here comes Tyler Waltz and Brandon Hinton already moving past Craig Knoll. I think Craig Knoll did not take tires.
Yeah, and unfortunately he was in that outside line, and Max had a really good jump. But, going back again to the numbers, I mean, he if he can run to 50 laps, get that full tank in, everyone else is already going to be at kind of a tire point anyways. Yeah, they can run a little bit longer, but it should be interesting to see what happens.
Interesting thing here, if you take a look back at the 5 car, look who's peering to his inside. His closest competitor for the championship is there. He is now battling Matthew Tennant on track, and Tennant knows he has to be in front of that car by a few positions in order to take this championship.
And it's going to try to run that high line to get around the 63 of Craig Knoll. The 5 car is going to go up and shut that door on him. 59 does clear the 63. I expect to see the 59 running high again here in turns 1 and 2.
And as you see, they are tracking down Max right now. So the lack of tires is starting to come into effect now. Now, one thing about Brandon Hinton that he has going for him, he knows that he's going to stay to the bottom. Everybody knows he's going to stay there. So they have to manage their tires trying to pass him on the outside. So that's already going to be a big ask of a lot of these people right now.
'48's going to clip the dog leg and run high, take away that air from the 54. That's going to allow the 5 car to get a decent run here as the 48 is into the wall. 54 is going to clear him. 5 is going to go in suit.
And this is going to put him right in the way of whoever decides to run up top. He's going to stick high. The 59 and 10 is going to dive low. But look at Max. He changes lane in the middle of the corner to try and help his exit right there. So he's trying to stay with these guys, but, he's got 22 lap-old tires where everybody else has 6 lap-old tires. So it's going to be a tough one here. The leader into the wall in the middle of the corner.
The 5 car is going to shut the door on the bottom line. That's going to cost the 48 a little bit of time, as well as the 59 of Matthew Tennant. That's going to draw him back just a little bit as the battle continues between the 54 and the 5.
That was an interesting move. Max, he didn't do anything wrong. He ran his line. He stayed up high, but Tennant had such a run with nowhere to go. You saw him getting wobbly and wiggling around there. That could have been a bad moment for him. It's a good job on him on keeping that car together. I know Tennant is not happy to see that number 13 of Tanner Honeycutt back in his rearview mirror getting closer. He fought him hard and burnt up Tennant's materials on the last run because Tennant started heading backwards. And now he's got that 13 coming at him again.
As it looks like our first lap traffic is going to come into play. 54 Tyler Waltz pulling up to the rear bumper. The 23 Thomas Long. Thomas is going to stay high. Give the 54 that bottom lane. Let's see if that allows the 5 to go with him as well, and it will.
I'm pretty sure the 54 would have preferred him going to the bottom because Tyler Waltz is really good on that high line. He has been working that high line really well with not much of a fall off. I think he's kind of mastered the craft of being up there. He was still holding pace with guys running the bottom while running the top side on that last stint.
as the 48 has now fallen back to the 5th place position and battle with the 63 of Craig Knoll.
Now, those are the two guys who did not take tires. So the 69 of Todd Perrant, he's the next car right behind that is in that playoff battle as well. He's going to, oh, the 54 into the wall again. Tyler Waltz is getting real close to that wall, and it is reaching out and biting him every now and then.
Yeah, it's allowing that 5 to pull right up to his bumper. The 5 is just patiently waiting for the mistakes of the 54 and to capitalize on them. He is staying tried and true to that bottom lane as the 54 is, mostly staying at the top, but he's trying some different things out to see what kind of run he can get on that 5.
It is a tight fight up there in the front, but, I mean, it's a tight fight everywhere. I mean, you even got in the back of the field, Charles Connor battling Chuck Burley. They're having a real tight battle. And it looks like, actually, while I'm going back there to take a look at them, the 48 of Max Dinda is off pace on the apron. He is coming to pit road. He has realized not having tires is not the way he wants to be.
It's definitely an interesting decision by the 48. I'm wondering if he is suspecting that we're going to stay green for a while. That would be the only thing that I could think of would be to try to outlast these guys' fuel strategy.
That's the only possible option he has. He's made his bed right now. He's got to hope that this thing stays green and doesn't get a caution until he gets back on the lead lap. Otherwise, he's going to be fighting the uphill battle.
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers, I mean, he can run, let's say he can run he can make one stop to finish the race at this point.
And he's going to be running faster. So the field is dropped down to, oh, he actually has retired from the race. I am surprised by that action. But as we take a look back up here for a battle for the P3 position, Matthew Tennant is under fire from Tanner Honeycutt yet again. The one guy who has been battling him so far this whole race.
13 is going to go high. 59 goes low and is going to wash up the track a little bit. Let's see what kind of run the 13 gets here coming onto the backstretch.
Tanner's pretty aggressive in his driving style. He doesn't hit people. He doesn't wreck nobody. He doesn't do anything like that. But he's going to make you work to either maintain your position or advance your position. He is a top-notch driver at that. So this is a battle definitely to keep your eyes on, because the closer Tanner gets, the harder they're going to start fighting, because Matthew Tennant doesn't give up easy, and Tanner definitely doesn't either.
Looking here at the in-car view of the 13 as he's getting such a huge run, just not able to capitalize on it yet, as they're going to be side by side heading into 3 and 4.
He's definitely trying. He's trying to get there as much as he can. But one nice highlight, Brandon Hitton has not been further than 3/10 away from Tyler Waltz. So those two are just hanging out with each other. Do you think they're just biding their time, just kind of turning laps, and then when it gets down to the wire, then they're going to start fighting?
Me personally, yeah, I do. I think that the 5 car is just sitting here, ticking off laps, conserving equipment for the end of the race. He knows who he has to race. That 59 car of Matthew Tennant, currently running in the 3rd place position, that is his race.
And as long as he's in front of him, he's winning the race right now. But we are only on lap 34 out of 130. So we're less than 90 laps to go, or we're around 90 laps to go, roughly around there. So he knows that he's got a long way to go. So I think it's pretty smart of him to maintain his material, not try and go up there and take the lead. He's just kind of hanging out where he is.
Yeah, and I'm just going to add in, just scroll to the back of the field. I think the 63 car, Craig Knoll, was the other car not to take tires on that last caution. I've watched him kind of hit the wall a couple of times, so he's probably getting a little loose. So, we're at lap 35, maybe pushing it on these tires, but just keeping an eye on these guys. And, again, kind of like when Max exited the race, right now, if Craig decided to pit, I mean, he could make it to the end and one additional stop if he pit right now.
Definitely a risky strategy, though. I think these guys aren't trying to risk that quite yet. I think if Max hadn't left the race, he would have been the one to keep an eye on to see if that strategy works. But yeah, definitely, I agree with you. Craig Knoll could be the guy to steal the win or something here today if he was to pit early.
And you're kind of looking through the field. I mean, I don't really see these guys are. I mean, there's actually a pack back at 10, 11, 12, 13. They're running pretty tight, but we've got some nice gaps up front with some of our playoff drivers.
I was just about to bring that up. We have those 5 cars back there for the 10th through 15th that are just, you could throw a blanket over them and cover it all.
Yeah, a couple of them were involved in that incident, so they may have already used their fast repairs, but yeah, they're running pretty tight back there.
I'm very
Looking
curious
back
about this battle in the front. I mean, look at him. Brandon Hinton slowly getting closer and closer as Tyler Waltz hits the wall again. Brandon Hinton is getting there.
I was just about to say something as we were looking at the back of the pack, the front of the pack. The 5-car Brandon Hinton just continually staying locked to that bumper of the 54 of Tyler Waltz.
And he just ran the middle line there in 1 and 2. I'm starting to think that every time Hinton gets close to him, the aero block kind of kicks in and he just can't get closer. The car tightens up a lot more on him.
So let's talk about their lap time. Last time by, the 5-car Brandon Hinton with a 35.65, Tyler Waltz with a 35.98. So they are right there, about 300ths off of each other.
And they're the only ones running those lap times. Everybody else is at least 2 to 3 tenths off of them. They are currently setting the pace of this race, but Tyler Waltz is going to have to be careful as he hits that outside wall again. Eventually, that will start hurting that car.
As we are now 40 laps in the books out of 130 for your final race of the Next Gen Series. For those viewers out there, if those of y'all that are interested in coming out here and running with us, you can head on over to racedes.com. We're going to run the LMP cars on Wednesday, road courses, GT3 road course on Thursday. We got the Gen 4 Cup cars on Fridays, 2 truck series. They run on Saturdays, and we're going to move the Next Gen Series to Sundays. So if you're interested in racing with us, head on over to racedes.com. Hop in the Discord, chat with us, and meet up on the track with us.
Can't wait for next season. I'm really looking forward to our Friday, Saturday, Sunday lineup.
Yeah, Jeff, it's going to be your first full-time season, man. You're going to get out there and hit the ground running at the start of the season, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. I got to still practice a lot for the season. I can't just, some of you guys are running some of these tracks many times. Some of them, it's the first time I've seen them. So we will see. But Brandon's he's just happy right now. I think just camping out behind Tyler. I know that looked a couple times like he was going to make a pass on him, but with Matthew Tennant, a second and a half behind him, I don't think he's in any hurry to make any moves.
Like I was saying earlier, I think the 5 knows where his race is. As long as he beats that 59 car, he has this this championship under lock. So the biggest thing that he needs to do is stay clean and stay in front of the 59.
Which is something he knows how to do. We know Hinton knows how to win a championship. Heck, he's our first next-gen champion, and he is looking to do a repeat here. He just won our ARCA championship on Wednesday, so he knows how to win a championship. None of those came easy. He was under threat week in, week out in every single series that he's won a championship. So where he's at, I think you guys are right. I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Hunter. He knows his race is at 59. He knows that 59 is a second and a half behind him, as he just took the lead, actually. And he is just racing that 59. Anything else is a cherry on top.
Yeah, I think the 54, the contact with the outside wall, running that higher lane, has got his tires heated up and worn down enough to where the inside line will prevail with that 5-car saving tire.
And, you know, I mean, this is the point in the race where this is the most laps they've had on their tires. This is more than the first caution. So that, you know, the guys who have a little more tire wear, they're going to be feeling it a lot more than some of the guys who've been saving.
Yeah, I think Tyler Waltz is feeling it very hard because he just hit the wall again in 1 and 2. As we also had a change for position for the P4 position, as Todd Perrant has gone past Tanner Honeycutt and sets his sights on Matthew Tennant now.
Yeah, looking at the bottom of your screen, all of the numbers that are highlighted in yellow are your playoff contenders. So you can see our top 4 are all playoffs, running back there in 7th. You get the 67 of Charles Connor. You got the 4-car of Chuck Burley in 12th. And then the 56 of Mark Holloway running in 15th. Those are your playoff drivers for this race. Looks like we got our first taker to pit road, the 63 of Craig Knoll. Let's see if he can get that thing woed down enough as he spins it, entering pit road.
Oh, he's stuck it into the wall, but he's gotten in reverse now, and that is going to hurt him a lot. He was running in a good position today, and that's going to definitely throw a real big wrench in everything he had going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of ruins any chance he had at, making it to the final lap on one more stop after this, of course.
He's definitely going to lose quite a bit of track position here. I don't think the damage is going to be as significant. He was pretty much slowed down. So let's see if he gets his damage fixed or if he gets it back out onto the track.
Not to keep repeating myself, but this is something I'm definitely trying to keep my eyes on. Tyler Waltz is into the wall again. So he is, and there he goes again. That's twice in one lap. Do you think he has now officially caused damage to that car?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell at this point. I do see him now moving to more of a middle groove. That's going to give him a little more room on exit to try to stay out of the wall, but that definitely is impacting his lap times. Last time by a 30.8, the 5-car with a 30.7.
Yeah, he's under threat by Matthew Tennant now. Matthew Tennant's going to sail by him as he's into the wall again. He's going to try and sail by him, and he's going to try and take the P2 position, which is not the most ideal situation for Matthew Tennant. He needs to be in front of that 5-car. We're creeping up on the halfway point here very fast. He's got to get up there to him.
Looking back through the field, you got the 99 of Christian Clark with Beer Run Racing. Made his way up to the 6th place position. He has that rear bumper of the 13 car right in the front of that windshield. He's going to try to start making his way up for the 5th place.
And, he has gained 6 positions. You bringing up Christian Clark, 6 positions on this race. Same as Charles Connor, he's got 6 positions. Then you got Brian Souza, who's gained 8. But then you got Chris Wagner, who has moved up 9 positions in this race. So people are having the ability to move forward. And it looks like Christian Clark has saved his equipment because he's now catching Tanner Honeycutt.
And Thomas Long is coming into the pits. The 23 car.
Another taker for this green flag pit stop cycle.
He is currently 4 laps down, so he may, I believe he did use his fast repair, but he may have picked up some additional damage.
Yeah, talking about those biggest movers, the 99 of Christian Clark gridded in 12th is up to 6th. Charles Connor gridded 13th up to 7th. Brian Sousa gridded in 16th is up to 8, and Chris Wagner 18th to 9th.
Yeah, Chris Wagner is putting together a real good run right now. He's in the top 10. He was almost outside of the top 10. He was the last person on the grid, and he has moved his way up to P9. So he's having a pretty decent day right now.
Looks like he got this thing woed down enough. It doesn't look like he's going to have any issues getting it down there.
Craig Knoll getting one of his laps back on the leader. He's still 1 lap down, though, so that's going to be the biggest issue for him. Because of that spin, he put himself 2 laps down. Now he's back down to 1 lap down.
So I'm going to throw this to either one of you in terms of strategy. So 59 cars, currently 1.8 seconds back or so from our leader. We know he needs a lot of points to win the championship. I mean, at this point, would you try pitting early to gain some speed? Would you try to run long, save your stuff and run long? I mean, either one of you go.
At least in my books, I'm looking at how many times again I'm going to have to pit. So we're almost 60 laps down. That would allow him, if let's say you pitted on lap 60, that would allow him to make it to 110 until he would have to pit again for tires and fuel. So there's going to be a minimum of 2 more stops for that 59 car. So what I'm thinking is I would honestly try to extend this run. That way the window that I have at the end of the race is a lot bigger, and that allows me to either short pit or to stay out and try to hope for a caution.
And I'm on the opposite side of that. So I would say he's on the back burner already. He has to gain as much as he can. He knows he needs multiple positions. He needs to at least win the race and hit and finish P4 at minimum. So I think you should undercut him. Probably about 2 laps as Tyler Waltz, our 3rd place car, is hitting pit road. I think he needs to undercut. Oh, the 63 spins again right at pit road. Sorry, got distracted by that. I think he should undercut him. And I think he should get on pit road maybe 2 or 3 laps before him, have that speed advantage, kill that gap, and get up there to him.
We got a lot of takers here. You got the 99 calling in. 54 just hit pit road. He did have a little bit more contact with the wall right before he hit those pits, so it's going to be interesting to see if he has any damage that he has to get repaired.
As he hits his pit stall and he is getting tires put on that thing, the number 99, he's on pit road, gets it woed down. He's going to be coming down pit road. 4 car, also a taker on pit road. I saw him diving down as well. So we're going to have a nice little shake up in speed at this point, because it looks like Brandon Hinton is still going to stay on track.
Yeah, it looks like the 54 is going to try to use the tire advantage to close that gap a little bit, as we have a lot of guys that have still elected to stay out. So it's going to be interesting to see how long these guys try to extend this run and what the difference is between the guys with fresher tires versus older.
I'm really curious as to when the 59 pits, because he has now dropped to 2 seconds behind the leader. So the gap is increasing. So in my opinion, that undercut is looking more and more feasible, because he's just bleeding time to him right now. It's about a 10th a lap, but he's still bleeding that time.
We have 8 guys who have elected to continue to run this green flag run. The first car 1 lap down right now due to the pit cycle is Christian Clark. So it looks like we've had 5 or 6 takers on pit road with 8 still remaining.
Yeah, and the 54 cars now climbed back into the first car 1 lap down.
Yeah, he's sitting in that P9 position right now, as Jonathan Geis just moved up into the P7 position, taking that from Chris Wagner. So Chris Wagner actually on pit road. That's why 69 is going to be hitting pit road from the P3 position right now.
I expect to start seeing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope, go for it.
I expect to start seeing some more takers here soon, as we're starting to near the end of this fuel run. I think these guys are going to have maybe another 10 laps or so of fuel remaining.
Well, the fuel window was only about 50 laps. So unless they've been saving, these guys are riding on fumes. Tanner Honeycutt has decided to head down pit road.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. It's interesting watching the 59 car. Yeah, he had a little.
Ooh, 32 around on the infield, entering pit road, 32 around. Five car of Hinton calling out the pit. 67 of Charles Connor calling out the pit. The 32 is able to safely rejoin. We will stay green. However, that will have a huge effect to that track position and times that he had.
59 is also on pit road. They are all pitting together. 67 almost loops it entering pit road as well.
Let's see this race off pit road. If the 59 is sticking to the 5, gets to his box first by about a second and a half. Let's see. Oh, 59 overshot
59.
his pit box.
Yeah, I was about to call that out. He overshot it. That's going to bleed more time. That could also cost him the P2 position here. Brian Souza still on track. Man, that guy can save some fuel. He is still out there. 51 laps on his stuff.
And he is in this time.
Yeah, he went a little further, but now he's coming down.
That extended the gap between Brandon Hinton and Matthew Tennant by 4 seconds. By that gap and then overshooting the pit box. A 4-second differential between the 5 and the 59.
And it's just interesting for me. You know,
go ahead, Jeff.
He knows he needs 9 points, right? So he matched Brandon, you know, with his pit strategy. So you know, you wonder if there's something else he may be thinking about, or maybe he just you know, he knows it's a long shot to get it.
The 5 car came out right with the 54, and the 54 had a chance to take this position because this is the battle for the lead right here. He had a chance to take it, went into turn 1, hit the wall. And now that gap has shot back up to almost a second.
Yeah, the 54 car, Tyler Waltz, has been running that high line most of the race. And Edwin, I think you have seen at least 7 or 8, maybe even more times where he's kind of brushed that wall.
Yeah, that's definitely something you gotta be. It's definitely something you got to be careful with. You want to make sure you're preserving the car for the end of the race, especially during these long green flag runs, is you're not going to have time to fix damage. You know, the more time that you spend in your pit box, the more time you're losing out there on the track.
And you know, Hunter, you called it out where Matthew Tennant is now after missing his pit box like that. He is 5.6 seconds behind the leader down in P4. He has lost 2 positions and 3 extra seconds of a gap by just sliding through his pit box like that.
So unless he really has a miracle save run here, he's probably not going to make it till the end. So I'll throw it back out there again. Would you you know, pit this last stage in half to try to gain an advantage, or would you try to save some fuel and maybe get it to the end?
At least in my opinion, I would be more to bank on a stop. I think those tires are going to be too hard of a differential to where if they start coming down to the end of the race, let's say yellow comes out, I think that's going to absolutely just obliterate any strategy that would have set up.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. It's gonna come down to the tires. I mean, he can try and save the fuel, but if he saves fuel and says, let's say he goes 3 or 4 more laps longer than Brandon Hinton, it's just when he does pit, the gap's just going to be insanely massive. So I think he's gonna have to play the tire game. He's gonna have to get in pit road, get those tires on sooner than him, and he's gonna have to push. And it's gonna hurt him, yeah, and it's gonna be a bit of a terrible situation, but he's gonna have to do it. That's the only way he's gonna be able to bounce back from his current hole he's now in.
We got a good little battle back here between the 7, the 99, and the 32 for the 7th place position. 32,
Yeah,
Jonathan Geis is going to go there to the inside.
Looks like the 32 is actually a lap down and the 7 several laps down. But they were fighting a little bit there. I can't lie. They were throwing down with each other for a second. But kudos to Christian Clark. You know, he's up in P7. He's maintained his stuff. And it looked like on that last run, towards the end of it, his car really came alive. He's really saving those tires out there.
"75 laps in the books." The 5-car Brandon Hinton pulling off away with a 2.2 second gap over second place 54 of Tyler Waltz. You got Todd Perron, that 69 machine, running in third. 59 of Matthew Tennant running in fourth, and 13 of Tanner Honeycutt to round out your top 5. We got a nice little battle here for the second place position. Is the 69 of Todd Perrant. Goes around his teammate 54 of Tyler Waltz, but the 54 is not going to give it up that easy. He's going to try to cross him up here in 3 and 4. 69 is going to run the middle lane and will secure this position on the exit corner.
I think Tyler Walsh just does not have the ability to run the bottom. He just does not seem comfortable down there. He doesn't seem like he has pace down there, and he's kind of forced to continue going up high. And I wish it wasn't that case for him, but from what I'm seeing from him, being down in that lowest groove in the corners is just hurting him every time he goes there.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because one thing that is extremely important is the versatility of the driver. Figuring out how to get speed no matter where you are on the track, making tracks a multi-groove track, that is what is going to help you succeed. Is being able to run the top, being able to run the bottom, making passes in the middle. As a 54, a little bit of contact there with the wall, that's going to allow the 69 to pull away.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You have to be able to move around. That's one thing that when I go out to race in the truck series, I do practice those other lines because I want to know that I can go there if I so need to. But there have been times where I'm not going to sit here and lie, where I just am not comfortable on another line. It could be the fastest line. It could be the best line around the track. and I'm just not comfortable there, and I suffer for it. So I agree with you 100%. You have to go out there and master that versatility, especially on these multi-group tracks like Kansas.
Yeah, and I've been, since I've been broadcasting, I've been watching the 54 a lot, and he's phenomenal on short tracks. And on those short tracks, he's always hugging that white line, right? He's always running that low line. And I watched him during practice. He was running the low line, and then he ran the higher line and was having faster speeds. And, maybe he just feels more comfortable up there. But, he's kissed that wall just a few too many times for my liking.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, the 54, if you want to talk about, a Cinderella story, starting off the season, still trying to get his feet wet, get his feet underneath him. Coming to the end of the season, when it's time for the playoffs, just out of nowhere, he's got all of this speed and he's running top contender. So, awesome Cinderella story for that 54 car being here in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's made the best of every situation that has been presented to him so far. And he is doing an absolute great job out there. He still's got a little bit to learn. He is a race winner, but he's still got a little bit to learn. And I know he's taken this race as a learning moment. He's going, hey, I've got to get better on the bottom. We've got to get better in the middle. So he's definitely going to be watching this race after this, and he's going to be analyzing everywhere he made a mistake, and he's going to be coming back next season stronger than ever at a track like this.
Yeah, and if you notice
absolutely agree with you.
Top right-hand screen on YouTube right now, you have the track map. You can kind of see what some of us are using if we're using overlays. You can see the field kind of spread out there. There is kind of a tight pack, 6, 7. I'm not sure what the other numbers are there. 11. There's another random number in there, so that's probably our tightest pack. 3 and 4 are pretty close, but that's a great view. I love it when we have that, so we can see just how tight these guys are running.
Matthew Tennant is caught up to Tyler Waltz.
Speaking of the YouTube, for those of you that are out there watching, drop your predictions down in the chat so we can talk about them. Let's see, who do you guys think are going to be running your top 3 on the final lap of this race? Edwin, Jeff, what are your guys' predictions?
I'll go
say.
Go ahead, Jeff. Go. No, you got it, Jeff.
So many of these races I broadcast, I could throw the 5 car out. I don't care if he starts first, last. He's lapped down halfway through the race. If I put $5 on Brandon every single race, I'd probably have $100 by now. But Todd Perront, Tyler, I'm going to say. Actually, I'm going to post mine in chat. That way you have to go look at chat to see what I think.
I'm going to say mine out loud. I'm going to say it's going to be the 5 car. He's going to take it home today. I think Todd Perront is going to be in the P2 position. And I think, based off how these guys are running and how everything's going, I think Tanner Honeycutt is going to sneak into that P3 position. That's going to be my prediction.
That's not a bad way to place your bets. I'm going to stick with the 5 winning the race, the 69 in second, and the 59 of Matthew Tennant. I think Matthew's got a lot of speed. He's really, trying to put in work right now on that 54 car of Tyler Waltz, trying to secure that 3rd place position.
Yeah, but the closer those two get to each other and the tighter they're going to get to battle, and you got to remember it's going to tow somebody up to them. These cars do not work well when they're side by side. These cars are really good by themselves. When you get side by side or close to somebody else, it starts pulling a car back. It starts pulling you guys towards each other. You got to check up more. You got to be more gracious on your throttle. And that just allows the guys behind you to just catch right on up.
59's going to try to run the middle line, goes back to the bottom with the 54 on exit. Let's see if he's able to close that gap even further. Last time by, 59 with a 30.6 and the 54 with a 30.7. So he does have about a 10th of speed on the 54.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer ever so slightly. So he is definitely trying to chase him down as they're way more equal on time there. Both running 36s, but Tyler Waltz with a 36.6 while Tennant with a 36.4 as they're now side by side because 54 scrapes the wall and the 59 is going to go right on past.
Let's see if we can get our producer to go to an in-car cam, and let's do one of the DES famous turn it up moments. And welcome back after that turn it up moment. We have a good little battle developing back here. It looks like the 4-car of Chuck Burley in that beautiful pearlescent rat fink scheme, and 67 of Charles Connor. That is for your 9th place position. Looks like the 4-car is going to secure it. 67 is going to drop back just a little bit. 54 hitting pit road. 54 is on pit road. Tyler Waltz.
Now, that's definitely an early pit for him. That's only 39 laps before he decided to hit pit road, but so is Christian Clark. He's also going to come down pit road, and he was getting close.
Now, the big question is, when do you think the 5-car is going to hit pit road? Do you think he follows the strategy of those behind him, or do you think he sets his own pace?
He's going to drag it out. He's going to go to the last second and then hit pit road, because that short sprint, because he's going to make it to where it's about lap 110, probably 112 at the most, and that short sprint is going to set him up like nobody's business, and he is just going to get rolling.
'69 of Todd Perrant going around the 23 of Thomas Long. Thomas is currently sitting a few laps down. He is pitting this time.
59 going to hit
Matthew
pit road.
Tennant.
Now, this is his chance for the undercut. He's got to maximize this situation right here. He's got to do everything in his power.
59 hit the cone right there for your pit entry. I wonder if he's going to get, by that comment over the radio, it sounds like he got an unsafe pit entry.
That is going to kill his race.
What a save, though. Wow. Just barely outside that pit lane, and that will give the black flag to the 59. But what a save there on entry. He clipped that apron, and that sent the right rear completely out from underneath the car.
Man, that's just unfortunate. He's been running an amazing race. He has battled back from adversity over and over again this race just for that to happen. I mean, I respect the man so much for what he went out there and did and how hard he went and fought. And he's getting a hold on pit road. And then once he's done, he's going to come out and he's going to be looking to, you know, salvage anything he's got, as the 5 car is now going to hit pit road.
Let's see if the 69 of Todd Barant, 13 of Tanner Honeycutt, or the 60 of Brian Sousa are going to follow.
Well, the 60 car, he went the longest, okay? Remember, he's got 36 laps right now. He went to 51 laps last time. So he might be looking to do the same. He could be an upset winner here based off of purely fuel mileage.
That's going to cycle TRN Racing's 13 of Tanner Honeycutt up to the lead. Brian Sousa in that 60 car is going to be in second. 5 car Brandon Hinton 69er in the pits. That'll cycle Jonathan Geist up to third.
Yeah, that's going to help Jonathan Geist because he's 1 lap down right now. So he needs to kind of maximize this little situation he has right here and try and prevent and hopefully get back on the lead lap.
Now that 32 car has not pitted yet, whereas the 5 and the 54-69 have all pitted. So I expect to see the 5 making that pass on him here in the next closing laps.
Yeah, as we're coming closer and closer to getting into that 20-lap window, Brandon Hinton is going past Jonathan Geist right now. That is actually technically 4 position. So that puts Brandon Hinton back into the P3 position. But he is still a lap down. He is the first car a lap down.
And, you know, just to point out to everybody listening, I mean, you know, we talk a lot about the playoffs, right? And you know, who's going to win the championship, who's, you know, potentially fighting for that position. You know, but at the same time, you know, there may be guys out here that we don't know. They could be running their best race of the season, right? And I mean, you two probably know better than I do which guys finishing, you know, maybe doing a personal best. But, you know, shout out to all the racers here. I mean, we've had a really clean race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially closing out 32 calling in pitting this time by, and 13 of Tanner Honeycutt. But especially coming through and closing out the next gen season like this, you know, we've had 1 caution up to this point, so knock on wood. But, you know, the clean race that these guys are having is just the absolute picture-perfect finish to this next gen series season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we were talking about who had fast repairs left, who didn't, you know, who has tires, who doesn't, because of incidents. I mean, this is such an amazing job these guys are doing.
Yeah, this is an absolutely amazing race. These guys have been methodical. They've been paying attention to their wear, spacing out. They've been doing everything in their power to have a good race. And, you know, shout out to everybody, you know, Brandon Hinton, Matthew Tennant, all of them. They've done everything in their power to try and win this championship and then run a good, clean, magical race. And they're definitely doing it, as like I said, Brian Souza still on track and is leading this race.
He is very quickly being caught by the 5 car. The 5 is definitely laying down some quicker lap times. Last time by a 30.2 for the 5 car. Brian Sousa in that 60 with a 31.0.
Yeah, so it's about a second different. So they are he's definitely catching him, but it's 24 seconds back. So he's got a long ways to go to get to him.
I think the 69 just made a pass on the 54. I don't. Maybe I missed that a few laps ago.
Nope. For the 3rd place position, 69 of Todd Perrant around his teammate, 54 of Tyler Waltz.
Yeah, and I'll say it now. I did in the chat. Didn't get any responses, but I called out 5, 54, and 69. Currently, as we stand, looks like the 54 and 69 may have swapped my prediction. But we still have a long way to go.
As we are 112 laps in the books, you have 18 laps remaining.
Do you think Brian Souza could make it on fuel? I don't think so. But do you think he can?
Absolutely not. I'm not quite for sure how many laps he has on this run, but there's no way to extend that long of a run.
He's got a real long way to go, man. I'm just curious as to when he's finally going to bring it down pit road. I don't know how Brian does this, how he saves this much fuel. I think we've seen him do this a couple times where he just somehow has so much more fuel than everybody else. So I have no idea how he does this at all, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I definitely know that pain.
Yeah, just watching the in-car. I mean, he's not, didn't look like he was clutching in, so he's just doing a really good job at saving.
Saying I definitely know the pain of, having a difference in fuel, but usually I feel like I'm on the latter side of that.
Yeah, for some reason you tend to not have enough fuel. I don't know why, but this man seems to have all the fuel. Maybe he's the guy who has all your missing fuel, Hunter.
Maybe I need to go question the pit crew of the 60, see if they're siphoning gas out of my car.
And maybe our producer can chime in. When was his last stop? Does anybody remember?
49 laps ago was his last stop.
So he's right at the end of his run. He's pitting in this time. He just called it out.
Yeah, about a lap shy of how long he went last time. So he is stretching that fuel as far as it can go.
If I'm not mistaken, this should be our last pit cycle of the race. This is going to cycle Brandon Hinton back to the lead. Todd Perrant to second, 54 of Tyler Waltz to third, 4-car Chuck Burley to fourth, 13 of Tanner Honeycutt to fifth.
Yeah, no, I'm. Go ahead, Ed.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to give a shout out to the 60 car. I mean, if I can't beat you with speed, if I can't beat you in the corners, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give those long shots a run. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Caution comes out at the right, moment. You're in a catbird seat.
Yeah, that's the last thing these guys want to see, though, is that caution. They do not want to see that because right now, Brandon Hinton has this championship won at this very exact moment. A caution comes out, there's variables, people running harder, having better short run speed than you. That can change everything for him. Yes, his nearest competitor in it, Matthew Tennant, is running in the P7 position a lap down, but a caution coming out, that man's in position for lucky dog. He can pit, get tires, and blaze through the field if everybody stays out.
Absolutely, is now lap 118 of 130. We have 12 and a half laps to go.
We're on lap 121 of 130, sir.
You are correct.
I make that mistake often. I'll be on a replay moment instead of looking at the live feed.
Yeah, I do that a lot. And just look at the 60 car. I mean, he did come back on the lead lap, so Matthew Tennant's still the first car, one lap down. So again, no stress to Brandon at this point. If Todd or Tyler have something for Brandon, doesn't look like they get close enough, but if they can, Brandon may be a pretty easy pass if you're on his bumper at this point.
As most of our field is pretty spread out here. Doesn't look like we have any significant battles for position. The 67 and the 56 are side by side. However, the 56 is currently sitting a couple of laps down.
Man, Brandon Hitton has an uncanny ability to just come alive in these playoffs. I mean, in the ARCA series, I think he won one race and then kind of was just running top tens. And then in the playoffs, he tore up to 3 wins in there, I believe. Even in the next gen, he kind of just bided his time, hung out in the top tens, just was consistent and just came alive in these playoffs. And now look at him en route to potentially winning his second next gen championship.
Yeah, and back to back from Wednesday night. This holds through.
The 5 car is on his way for the weekend sweep at the moment.
Could you imagine? I don't think anybody in DES has ever swept an entire weekend. And could you imagine if he was able to do that at the end of the season?
For the championship at that. The closest one I think we had was the 73 of John Crosby won a Friday and Saturday race.
I think you came close to it as well yourself. I think you won a Saturday Premier race and Xfinity race. And yeah, almost won Legacy Truck too. That was all 3 things you ran.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He is a team of 1 starting next season. Is that correct?
That is true. Brandon Hitton has mutually agreed with his team of TRN to part ways, and he's going to go become an owner-operator on his own by himself running Hitton Motorsports. So looking to bring home another championship to his current team and then potentially next season, nab one for himself.
There we go.
As he exits turn number 4, it'll be 3 to go this time by for the 5 car.
And, Todd almost 6 seconds behind. Tyler, 9 seconds behind. Tanner, it's pretty close to Tyler, just a second behind him. But we have 6 cars on the lead lap.
That's how green flag runs go. A lot of people end up going laps down.
And the pace that these guys have been setting in this race, it's just been a phenomenal racing up front, all around. These guys have been pushing each other. They've been pushing the limits of these cars, trying to battle in anything they can stick their nose in. So good on these guys.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Brandon's lap times. I mean, he is steady Eddie right now. I mean, he is just running. He's feeling comfortable and just happy with his pace.
He's running some pretty quick lap times. He's ran a 36 last lap, and he's the next nearest is Tanner Honeycutt, who ran a 35, but Tanner's 10 seconds behind him. So he's really quick out there still. He's actually even moved up a lane. He's running about a low middle line right now.
A white flag out this time by 2 more corners for this 5 car to secure his second championship back-to-back Next Gen Championship. Off the exit of turn number 4, Brandon Hinton is going to bring home the race win and the championship for the Next Gen Series.
That's how you do it. That's how you ensure you're going to win the championship, by winning the race. He went out here and did exactly that.
So refreshing. I mean, I know Wednesday night he was back in the pack a little bit, and tonight he not only got the race win, but he got the championship.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, all of his races come to fruition, and his back-to-back championships, and winning the ARCA championship on Wednesday night as well.
Getting a little bump there from the 69. That's some respect.
We got our third place finisher in here, 54, Tyler Waltz. Tyler, walk us through that race for you.
I mean, you guys probably saw it the same way I did running it. I blew running the bottom, so I had to run the top and shred the tires.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about that, Tyler. It seemed like that bottom line was just not a comfortable place for you. You kind of just had to run up top, man. And it was, it looked like it was pretty hard on you, man. Did you ever cause damage to your car where you needed repairs from hitting that wall?
No, I'd never got any damage from it. It's lost me a lot of time having to check up to get out.
Yeah, so, walk us through what your strategy was out here tonight. You took the lead from the 5 car really early. You had a phenomenal pace running that high line. Was it just the tires that kind of came to effect there at the end, or, what was your strategy to having all that speed?
The speed early was, the top side's really good on even tires. Once your tires wear, then you're kind of crushed. My plan was just try and stay ahead of Brandon for as long as I could, make myself look better than I am. But shout out to him for back-to-back championships. He absolutely dominated the season.
Well, Tyler, congratulations on that third place finish. I look forward to seeing where you shake out in the playoff picture. So once again, congratulations.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. I'm sure the broadcast was awesome. Thank you, Damon, and everybody else for putting on an awesome season. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Legacy Truck finale.
Let's see about getting our P2 finisher in here. I believe it was Mr. Todd Perron.
There he is, Todd Perron. Todd, congratulations on that second place finish. Walk us through how this race went for you.
Well, I just showed up. I missed that race, so I didn't really have no chance at anything. So I just came out here to have some fun. Towards the end, man, I was pretty quick, passed a lot of people up, but I mean, I didn't have nothing for Brandon up there. I think he was saving while I was working my way through traffic.
Yeah, Todd, man, you just kind of methodically worked your way through there through consistency and absolute willpower, man. Towards the middle stage of that race, you were kind of back there in P5. Did you expect to see yourself up here?
I mean, I figure if I get a rhythm, and no cautions, usually pretty decent at saving tires. So at the end of the runs, I'm usually pretty good. I mean, I was hoping for a caution at the end so I could try for the win there, but it was fun for sure.
Well, Todd, once again, congratulations on your second place finish. I look forward to seeing you carry this momentum into the Next Gen Series next season.
Yep. Thanks for everything y'all do, and congrats to Brandon on the win and the championship. No better way to do it there.
Let's see if we can get our race winner in here. The 5 car of Brandon Hinton. Brandon, your second championship this week, your back-to-back Next Gen championships. How do you do it?
I really like this car. That's all I can explain. This car and me, I just really like it. And this thing was on a rails tonight. I could roll that bottom really well. And it was just a lot of fun to run. Green flag racing. What more could you ask? It was a lot of fun to run that.
Yeah, Hinton, man, you ran a phenomenal race early on, and even after the first pit cycle and first caution. Tyler Waltz had the run on you, and he pulled away, and you just kind of stuck to your guns and ran the bottom, and eventually got back past him. What kind of mindset does someone have to just fully commit to a lane and not change it up the way you do?
I can't run anywhere else. It's that simple. Like I was talking to Tyler in the staging room. We were talking about it. I said, the way he runs the top side, how I run the bottom. He can run the top side, and that's why that run, he would get the run off the exit. I would get the run into the corner. He would get the run off the exit. It was a lot of fun. But I cannot run the top. And that's what I was telling him. I was like, if it was the opposite. He was trying to run the bottom line a couple times and give me some arrow, and he said he couldn't do it. And I was like, that would be the same thing if I was trying to do the opposite on your end. But yeah, I just run the bottom. That's and you guys know that. It's just what I do. It's what I can do well, and it saves a lot of tires, so it's good for a long run, and it's just what I prefer.
So if I'm not mistaken, you are in contention for 2 other championships this weekend. How are you feeling about going into those?
I got quite a gap in those. If I am, I mean, we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. You never know. But these two, I'm glad I got them for TRN, like we've talked about. You guys accepted me and let me come in for this year and let me run with you guys and get this for you guys as I'm going to team owner myself for next year. It is really awesome. And I want to thank you guys, Edwin, Hunter, Tanner, all the TRN guys for allowing me to come play on your team this year. And it was a lot of fun. And nothing's going to change. Like we're all the same, and looking forward to next season. But this was a lot of fun, and looking forward to the next season.
I gotta say, Hinton, the pleasure was ours. Honestly, it was really our pleasure.
I'm just gonna chime
Jeff.
in. I'm currently subscribing to the Hinton Motorsports feed. So look out, Brandon. I'm gonna learn everything.
Thank you, guys. And again, I thank DES for hosting this and putting this on, and you guys for broadcasting it. You guys make it great. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Hunter and Jeff, absolutely amazing race to cap off the season here in the Next Gen series. I had a lot of takeaways from it. It was phenomenal. I clearly have a lot I need to learn too, because if I'm going to be looking to compete against these guys next season, it's going to be a tough one.
Absolutely. We have some great racers in this series, and the more I can learn, the more anyone who watches these feeds, the videos from all these individual guys that they're posting on YouTube or wherever else they may be posting, check them out. These are great drivers, great league, great series.
Well, you got any closing remarks, Hunter, yourself?
Once again, congratulations to our champion, Brandon Hinton. Look forward to seeing him carry this momentum. You heard it from him first. Consistency. He is constantly learning, out there, making adjustments, sticking to what he knows best, and winning 2 championships in a week and back-to-back next-gen champions. So until next time, see ya.